Welcome to today's meditation practice. I am so thankful and so happy that you've chosen to practice and allowed me to lead your practice today. Thank you for arriving here. Most importantly, as we get ourselves situated and ready, I like to prioritize comfort over challenge. So, as it starts to get colder, if you have a little space heater, that's nice. Or sometimes we'll wrap a blanket around ourselves, put it over our lap anyway, so that you can stay warm and cozy and feel like you can sit for a while. Come on to your meditation spot with me. No yoga yet today. But we will do a little bit of movement to warm ourselves up. So I'm just going to go right on the floor. And especially this time of the year when it gets cold, if you choose the floor like me, you may also, I'll probably start this next week, put a big blanket down on the floor so that it's not so cold. But I'll keep my slippers on, and that way it feels a little better while you get adjusted. Now, if you're staying in your desk chair, that's totally fine. Try to ground your feet if they're chilly and you need to keep them in your slipper. That's okay. Just spread them out wide and ground them down. And if you become uncomfortable during your practice, make any adjustments necessary so that you can drop back in to your comfort. We're not trying to work through any challenging seats today. So whatever works. I'm just doing a simple cross-legged position. I've chosen 2 pillows so that my hips are a little higher. If they come above our knees, that's ideal because then your hips can really open. But if you reach and touch your low back, as long as there's a gentle arch to your low back, you're in a good spot. If it were bulging out and you're unable to lift long in your spine, that's asking you for a little extra support under your backside. And to begin, we're just going to move a bit through our upper body so that we feel that we can settle for our meditation. Let's take our palms and flip them skywards. It doesn't matter where you're holding them, but allow your arms to be long. Starting a little fist and then an opening, and then move a bit here through your fingers. I like to try to wiggle them in as opposed to closing them all at once. I'll just kind of wiggle them. Yeah. Take a few more of those opens and close. You'll get warm in your hands and your wrists, maybe even in your forearms very quickly. Then we'll hold that gentle fist, elevate from where we are, and just take a little bit of movement. I don't know if you want to move yours the same way. Mine seem to want to move independently. So we'll roll them, maybe even just do a little pulling in and out or some tick-tocking. Trying to let go of all the gripping we do with our typing, our mousing, our cell phoning, driving, all of the things. Then flare them open as wide as you can. Let them float somewhere softly. Palms can be down to help us ground. Palms can stay up to help us bring energy in. Shoulders will lift towards our ears and then set back down. Lift towards your ears. Drop slowly down. Next time we lift, we'll roll them back and down. Lift and roll. And notice if you can feel that little V coming in between your blades back there. That's how we hope to sit. So we'll reach to the sky with our shoulders. Pull them back and down and feel that soft connection, the bottom of your blades hugging in towards your spine. Then drop any effort out of your shoulders, being broad in your chest. Neck stretches as we tuck our chins down towards our chest, opening and exposing the back vertebrae of our neck. Stay right here and breathe, or consider a little roll with your ears side to side. I always get some cracks, pops in my neck as I do this. I think that's an organic way of creating space and opening up. Soften through your jaw, let your teeth separate. Take a few more, do what feels good for your neck. When you're ready, we'll come back to center. Eyes forward, chin parallel to the ground, and draw it back just a bit So we feel that length that's in our spine traveling up through the back of our neck, crown above our tailbones, shoulders over our hips. Choose either eyes softly closing or taking them down so that we can move away from the distractions, from everything that's brought us up to this point in our day. Invite yourself to become still right here in this moment and begin with some conscious breathing. No need to change it in any way. Just come to it. Slowing ourselves down and allowing the breath to catch up with us. If it feels good, feel free to take a big breath in, slowing it down, creating some length in it. And a very long, conscious exhalation. Deeply inhaling, no effort, no forcing, but if it comes naturally, stretch it out. And a purposeful exhale, letting go. Inhaling, filling up your chest. A sense of relaxing as your breath leaves. Inhaling deeply, filling your chest. And a full body exhalation, letting go. Inhaling again, consider a little pause at the top of your breath, noticing the sensation of fullness and stillness. Let that breath seep out, slowly letting go, softening down the length of your body. Notice that little pause before we begin again, holding ourselves empty. Coming back to your breath. Inhale and exhale. And one more just like that. Breathe in and breathe out. Our breath stays with us, fortunately, but we'll let go over the effort, over the focus on it, turning into the truth of our moment that we are fortunate enough today to be alive and breathing without any work on our part. We can just come and be, center and soften, and hope to release a bit. Breath settles into its natural rhythm. We sense the possibility of relaxing around that breath practice. Could we potentially dissolve outwards a bit more? Now, if you do feel that melting sensation come in, just remember we do like to stay long in our spine, soft and long. But we can melt around the spine, relaxing our senses, yet staying awake. And we're still aware of our field of sensations and noises in the background. But we're open to an awakening of our hearts and minds. As you breathe, becoming aware of our heart space, any emotions that may arise. Sometimes we're busy, busy, busy. We don't deal with our emotions, we just kind of stuff them down. That happens to the best of us. So now we get to take notice. Is there anywhere that feels a little tangled? Perhaps some tension? Is there a sense of hanging on? And if you discover anything like that, there is no story that we attach to it. There is no criticism or judgment, but we simply allow a repetition of out breaths that occur naturally to begin loosening and releasing these areas of our body that may contain energy which is no longer serving us. Give yourself permission to do so. Dissolving and letting go. And when we work like this, when we work with our energy, you can notice all sorts of sensations. You may not. But if you had some sort of like a tingling or a vibrating, that is quite normal. I like to think of that as a sense of aliveness. We soften in other areas and we take notice, just as we did in our tense parts, of what feels really good. Or perhaps you're like, well, I can't even feel my chest. I guess that means it feels pretty good, right? We don't have this heaviness, this tightness of stress and burden on us. So that's wonderful. Maybe you can find something in your body or your mind or your heart, in your spirituality, in your physical form that has been healed recently. Become grateful for that. Or maybe it's in the process of healing. And as you're scanning through your body, noticing where we need a little release, where we might feel neutral or even good, where we're in the process of working through our healing. Emotions and sensations arise. Be here now. Center. Soften your body, release control. There's nowhere else that you need to be. This very moment for us together is meant to be. As you breathe in your chest, scan through your torso. Give yourself permission to release more in your shoulders. And consider examining yourself from the inside out. Receive energy and breath deep within your torso, inside the vertebrae of your spine, inside your cells, your blood, your organs, your bones. Receive this breath and the next, and this one as well. And allow your awareness to drift down through your hips and into your legs. Sensations, perhaps all the way down in your feet. Those little tingles are okay. Remember, that's energy. If you're uncomfortable, you're welcome to move, but perhaps just bringing a sense of loving kindness, holding space for the sensations will help us accept them. There is this moment of listening to and being aware of our bodies in this moment. Carefully receiving breath and being or becoming receptive to the healing power of our breath. I think one of the best forms of self-care is to comfort and take care of ourselves simply by becoming intentional about our inhalations and exhalations. And I love that because we don't need anything. Some people are like, oh, self-care, I need to do a face mask or get a massage. But the most basic form of self-care is slowing down. No props required, no money spent. Just being with your beautiful body and breath. And when we begin to let go and relax into our bodies, we know that with just a pause, just an acknowledgement of the power of now, the amazing breath we were gifted for another day, we can start fresh in any moment. Soften your hands intentionally. Soften your facial expression or allow a soft smile to play at the corners of your mouth and see if something small and subtle like that changes your entire perspective, outlook, or mood. Doesn't it feel wonderful to be in the center of now, to actually be fully present? fully immersed in your body's breath and in your experience. Simply recognizing this change of pace, this new energy. Perhaps it's the same energy, but you just didn't even notice it before. So we're coming to it now, this new experience. And I always notice that I didn't necessarily feel really nourished by my breath prior to checking in with it. But when I do allow myself that opportunity to slow down and breathe so deeply, it's life changing. It makes me feel awake and alive, energized and aware. It drops me into the present moment. Even the most practiced of us will drift. So, especially when you're not in a guided meditation and you're just trying to do it on your own, that's tough practice. I still struggle with that. But we know that when we drift, when our mind wanders, the most important part of that is our attitude. So let's celebrate the act of noticing, like, whoops, my mind drifted away, come back here. It's a good thing that we notice that. We as humans have 70,000 thoughts a day. That is approximately 49 thoughts a minute. So appreciate yourself for drawing your mind back to your body and breath, into the here and the now. Take a sigh of relief that you've become so perceptive and settle back in, or should I say, resettle back in. And give yourself permission to let go even further. There is no limit to how much we can release here. We are boundless. We have this beautiful, relaxed attentiveness to our breath. And as we perhaps, I hope, notice that we've become soft and yielding with our practice, consider moving throughout the rest of your day like water. And it's okay. Some of us aren't water people. Maybe we are frightened of water. That's okay. So instead, we can consider ourselves like a gentle breeze, really whatever can gently move in and around and through things. Just like our universe is ever changing, our bodies, our breath is ever changing. It's fluid. Benefits of being a bit less rigid, of softening our edges. Sometimes it's our personality to be very structured and strong and rigid or tough. And that's okay. We just want to become a little softer, a little less abrasive. So I think about those tight physical spots or those tight parts of my personality, and I just start to like sand the edges of it. See if I can let go a little bit. And dropping back into our receptivity to the silence within us, to the softness and our flexibility that we all have. And dare I say that if we become soft and yielding with ourselves, do you think that may help you become more receptive to others as well? Maybe it's differing or opposing opinions, or someone wanting you to change your view or a way that you are participating in life. Perhaps with our fluidity, we're able to adapt to that as well. we can maintain a certain degree of flexibility. Being able to bend as opposed to breaking, just like a wind may move us, we have to bend or sway a little bit. And just like the wind, just like the water, it can take on different forms. So I'll just use water as an example. If you put water into a glass, it becomes the shape of the glass. If it's part of the ocean, it'll have currents and waves. It might do things with temperature, so it can evaporate, it can freeze. And this example of water and its ever evolving flexibility is I think, perfect example to show how it can survive many different circumstances just by adapting. The softness of water, which is why I like this one, adds strength to living beings. It makes us flexible and resilient to outside circumstances. If you're using air, it's okay because it is definitely an airy season with the winds. We feel soft and yielding as we find this sense of flexibility. We may feel a bit more tender as we practice. Since change is inevitable and life is impermanent, change comes in all different forms, big, small, unexpected, and expected. We see that no matter what happens, our flexibility allows us to adapt. Finding our way, hopefully, past obstructions, obstacles in our paths, choices with minimal effort, dropping in, listening in, allowing our heart or perhaps our gut tell us what is the best path. And if we can adapt to this type of an approach to life, we would live in this continuous flow state, effortlessly, easily finding our way around whatever crosses our path, becoming less resistant or not resisting even the most drastic changes. So, as an example of how softness can overcome hardness, anything sharp, think of how if you had a piece of glass from a bottle and it went into the sea and it got tumbled all around, it would get polished into this really beautifully smooth and soft form of sea glass. Because the flexibility of water can erode even the hardest materials. So, in order to be like water, to become a fluid person in our nature, we know that we can overcome the hard by dropping into softness. And we call this a practice because it's not like a one and done or a once a month and feeling great for the rest of the month kind of thing. It doesn't have to be a long practice every day, but we do try to commit to finding this sense of softness on a regular basis. Using force, using excess energy where it's not needed is not only exhausting, but sometimes it really doesn't get us anywhere. It might even slow us down or wear us out. a softer approach when it comes to our long-term health can be so beneficial because it will help us save energy. It will help us maintain a flexible, tranquil mind. Let's continue on today with our day with a kinder, softer, gentler heart and mindset towards the lives that are within us and around us. Peace above us, peace is below us, peace is around us, and peace is within us. We just have to find it. Congratulations today on taking the time to slow yourself down, to come back again to your breath, to come back to yourself. Let's continue honoring our deepest intention to be here, to be present. Close our practice today with one big, beautiful breath, the deepest breath you can find, refilling yourself with energy, perhaps growing a little taller as you do. And as you exhale, becoming soft and yielding in your mind, your heart, your emotions, and your body. Dropping your head down just for a moment in gratitude to the time you've dedicated to practice. My light treasures you. Thank you for being here.